Hi there. We're going to go through a number of online research sources for developing your ideas, for conducting research online, and also for sharing ideas. And the first thing I want to talk about is what I'm using right now, which is Zoom. Um, if you don't have a Zoom account, you can go ahead and easily find out where to find it by asking how to get a free Zoom account. It should show you a link to sign up for a free Zoom account. You go ahead and put your email in and sign up. There are plans and pricing, and it shows you on what kinds of things you can use. Obviously, I recommend for this time that you get a free account because it is free. You can have up to 100 participants, unlimited one-on-one meetings. 40 minutes is as long as the meetings can be. Unlimited number of meetings, though, and online support. Um, the reason I suggest getting a free Zoom account is that it allows you to interact with other students on that account so that you can work together conferencing from a distance. You can share each other's desktop screens, all sorts of things like that, do webinars, prepare for presentations, dialogue, and there can be more than one of you. There could be like a group of 6 of you all in the same hosted Zoom meeting. Again, if it's not something that's for you, that's fine, but I wanted to just briefly talk about it because some students have been asking. Heritage is not currently offering free Zoom accounts for students, but you can sign up for a free Zoom account if you wish, and I think it could be beneficial to you. Um, okay, let's look at the lecture. So, hello, course participants. I hope this finds you and yours well and safe. Today, we will be looking at how to go about conducting research online. Many of you have term papers due at the end of the semester. Some of you may have started looking for resources already. Some may have not. For today, I'm going to pretend that I am a student that has a massive paper due, who needs 6 sources minimum and is not even started on their paper. Okay. I have one major advantage as this student. I already know what my general topic is, and I know what my thesis is. Now remember, the topic and the thesis for an argumentative paper are not precisely the same thing. The topic is what the paper will generally be about, what the general subject of the paper is. Okay, my general topic or subject is the relationship between taking virtual tours and well-being. Perhaps you remember that one of the well-being exercises, well-being checks that I have as a subject was virtual tours and taking virtual tours. Well, this is going to be, as the pretend student project, this is going to be my topic. My general topic is the relationship between virtual tours and well-being. My thesis for our exercise is going to be a bit different. My starting thesis is going to be that taking virtual tours potentially increases well-being in tour participants. Okay. Notice that this thesis is a bit general. For my purposes at this time, that's okay. That's okay to have a general thesis because I haven't actually completely decided yet what I'm going to do with my thesis. I'm not completely certain yet. It is possible that I may find as my research for my topic continues that I will narrow that thesis, or I may even end up changing my thesis. What if, for example, I find that the majority of published research on this topic shows that virtual tours do not increase well-being? Well, I have 2 options. I could change my thesis to taking virtual tours does not increase well-being. Okay, that's one option, but more than likely, I would simply own that result. I would keep my own original thesis, but state in my conclusion that it did not prove to be the case that virtual tours increase well-being. My preliminary research says that they do, but we're not going to go there yet. I'm telling you what to do if you do all your research and then find out, oh, I'm wrong about that initial thesis, right? So you see in the research, if we are all seeking truth, then there may be such a thing as a disappointing result, but there's no such thing as a wasted result. All research is important and furthers our knowledge and our experience. All research is valuable. Let's move on to finding some sources. Okay, as I've said, I know my general topic, the relationship between taking virtual tours and well-being. And I know my thesis, taking virtual tours potentially increases well-being in tour participants. The first place that I am going to go to find sources is our Heritage University library. Okay, so let's go off and looking for research about that topic at our main library page and looking at RefWorks. Okay, then, so here we are at the main Heritage screen. I'm going to look at quick links and go to the library page. Okay, so I observe the library is physically closed, but the online library is still available to me. I'm going to look under citation help, and I'll note that that has a RefWorks connection, and you can have the new RefWorks. You can create an account. It talks about learning how to export and understand export and save. I'm already signed into my brand new RefWorks account, so I'm going to observe that it looks like I have a lot of other tools for search and use. But the RefWorks page is going to be more useful to me as I search for resources today. So let's come back. Nope, that's about our Zoom accounts. Right. So let's come back and look at that library page again. I want to do a search on Eagle Search. Now, this is what we call a meta search engine. That means that it's a search engine of search engines. So if I put something in this window, I'm going to get a lot of different search engines on the net answering my question. So my question has to do with virtual tours. Okay, I'm going to just do that as a general search and see what I come up with. An encyclopedia, I have a professional paper vision 3D, in peer-reviewed sources. So it says it's peer-reviewed. That's useful. Okay, so action. Okay, then, so here we are at the main Heritage screen. I'm going to look at quick links and go to the library page. Okay, so I observe the library is physically closed, but the online library is still available to me. I'm going to look under citation help, and I'll note that that has a RefWorks connection, and you can have the new RefWorks. You can create an account. It talks about learning how to export and understand export and save. I'm already signed into my brand new RefWorks account, so I'm going to observe that it looks like I have a lot of other tools for search and use. But the RefWorks page is going to be more useful to me as I search for resources today. So let's come back. Nope, that's about our Zoom accounts. Right. So let's come back and look at that library page again. I want to do a search on Eagle Search. Now, this is what we call a meta search engine. That means that it's a search engine of search engines. So if I put something in this window, I'm going to get a lot of different search engines on the net answering my question. So my question has to do with virtual tours. Okay, I'm going to just do that as a general search and see what I come up with. It's thinking about it. Sometimes this takes a while. I think what we'll find is I'm going to get a very general search. It's not going to be the most helpful search. We're going to probably need to do an advanced search, but for the moment, I just want to see what happens if I just put in virtual search. Okay, virtual tours as a general search. So I have a reference entry in an encyclopedia. I have a professional paper vision 3D. In Vert 2, how user-driven interactivity in virtual tours leads to attitude change. Well, that actually might be a really good article for me straight away, and I'll notice that it is even peer-reviewed, and I have to have 2 peer-reviewed sources, so it says it's peer-reviewed. That's useful. Okay, so actions that are available to me. I can send it to RefWorks. I can also find sources citing this. So remember when Daniel was telling us, the director of the library was telling us about finding sources using this and how you could see who had cited this and who this had cited. And that could be an important way to find further information if I decide this is really helpful. Well, I've got RefWorks, so I'm gonna go ahead and see what happens. Yep, continue. What happens when I go to reference? Yes, export to the newest version. And it looks like it doesn't think I'm actually already here, which is weird. So, and let's see what happens. Oh, sorry, yes. Be sure, actually this is a really good example. Be sure that you enter your email address. There we go. In my case, okay, save. And they've saved one document to my library of resources. So let's look at all references that it's got at the moment. And I've got that one reference already cited. Now I could add this to a particular folder. At the moment I don't have any folders. I'm going to add a folder. I'm going to say SP 20 research term paper, virtual tours, and wellness. And hopefully that won't be too long. Let's find out. Nope, that's fine. So I've got this, and in my main references, I have all references. I'm going to select that and assign to a folder. And I'm going to select my one folder, apply that. And then when I look in my folder, I'll see that I've got that one reference. So I'm on my way. I've started getting a collection of things to put in my folder. Let's go back. Right. Okay, now I have a number of sources possible to use in my paper. At this point, I want to make a quick evaluation of general types of sources I have. If I'm going to write a paper, I know that certain types of information may be important. I may need information about the history, practice, and evaluative research data of my topic and thesis. In my case, I need to start asking myself some questions. Let's look at some of those questions. First of all, do I have a source that talks about the history of virtual tours? So history, whatever your topic, you need to know whether or not you have some of the background, the history of that topic, and the history of perspectives on that topic. Do I have a source that talks about the use of virtual tours in popular culture? Do I have a qualitative data source? That is a study that provides interviews or anecdotal insight into the relationship between wellness and virtual touring. Do I have quantitative data? That is a study that provides numerical, physical, or medical data that supports or dismisses a relationship between wellness and virtual touring. Do I have a source that talks about the types of virtual tours that exist? Do I have a source that talks about the motivation of virtual tour creators and designers? Do I have a source that compares real touring with virtual touring? Okay, I might have needed to look at what are the benefits of actually going on a tour, a physical tour in real time, versus a virtual tour that may or may not be in real time. Do I have information about that? Do I need information about that? And if I do I have it? Okay. After getting these sort of sources, I may find myself refocusing my paper. Oh, so let's look at and consider my sources. Do I have the sources I need or do I have gaps? Well, what do I need? I still need a bit of history about virtual tours. I still need quantitative and qualitative research that shows that virtual tours help with well-being. It would still be helpful to be able to talk about types of tours. Do I have anything specifically about the use of virtual tours in education? If I don't, I would need that. Do I have anything that talks about COVID-19 sheltering in place and the psychological impact on school-aged children? I need that too. Do I have any articles that provide recommendations for good virtual tours for children? Using exemplars of actual virtual tours might be helpful as well. Okay, so those things would be important things for me to to support my research. I have to go out and do more research, in other words, to support my paper. Okay, having refocused my topic and refined my thesis, I will need to go back online and find new sources that are directly related to my research paper. As a reminder, be sure to annotate as you go. That is to say, make a note for each source explaining what the source is, what it's about, and how it is useful to your discussion, your paper and thesis. Remember too that you can always email me with questions about the coursework and conducting your research. Please email to dunn_k@heritage.edu and CC or carbon copy to dunrightaway@gmail.com. Many thanks for your time today, and I'll see you again soon.